the headlines of this hour on VTV News. Government convenes for August's lawmaking session. Later on, Vietnam leverages resources for economic growth. And in our world news, Indian Prime Minister offers help to bring peace to Ukraine.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Good afternoon. It is currently 3 p.m. local time, and you're tuning in to 30 minutes of VTV News. I'm Dylan Lei with the latest updates. Now, on Saturday, Prime Minister Phie chaired a key government meeting on lawmaking, focusing on pivotal projects and proposals. The session reviewed draft amendments to laws on military officers, the ordinance on the management of the Ho Chi Minh Mausoleum, the law on public investment, planning, investment under public-private partnership, and bidding. The Prime Minister highlighted the government's dedication to legal reform, aiming to simplify administrative procedures, improve decentralization, and enhance enforcement. He advocated for a flexible approach to practical issues and stressed the need to remove request grant mechanisms. The meeting also highlighted the importance of enhancing the investment climate and improving state management. Prime Minister Phie noted that legal reform is one of 3 strategic priorities, alongside institutional and human resource development, identified by the party and state to drive socio-economic progress. Prime Minister Phie has also issued an official dispatch on enhancing high-quality human resource training in semiconductors, artificial intelligence, and cloud computing. The Ministry of Education and Training is tasked with creating specialized units at schools for these fields, updating training programs, and fostering international collaboration. The Ministry of Planning and Investment must submit a project on developing human resources for the semiconductor industry to 2030 with a vision to 2050 and boost the innovation ecosystem. The Ministry of Science and Technology will focus on advancing scientific research and refining policies to attract talent. The Ministry of Information and Communications will develop a strategy for the semiconductor industry and the establishment of big data computing centers. Provincial and city people's committees are encouraged to attract investment and enhance cooperation among the state, educational institutions, and businesses. Deputy Prime Minister Lê Thanh Long will oversee the implementation of this dispatch. Bank credit remains the primary resource for economic and social development, contributing over 50% of capital. To sustain growth, mobilizing additional financial resources is crucial. This topic was the focus of a workshop held in Hanoi on Friday, themed Promoting and Enhancing the Efficiency of Financial Resources for Economic Development in the New Context.
The workshop revealed that in Vietnam's current capital structure, credit institutions provide over 53% of the total capital. Despite significant growth, the stock market contributes less than 1%, with a total of only about 420 trillion VND raised in 2023. Public investment and FDI capital make up only 16 to 7%, while private resources account for approximately 4.8%. As a result, experts recommend expanding other sources of capital.
Expanding other sources of capital is essential to reducing the reliance on credit capital and promoting a more balanced, stable, and secure development.
It is important to mobilize additional financial resources for development. Simultaneously, policies should be implemented to attract private capital through public-private partnerships, PPP, to ease the budget burden and attract both domestic and international investment.
Greater clarity and transparency are needed, as private and non-state resources are crucial for development. Although mechanisms have been discussed, many implementation issues still need to be addressed and revised.
Many have proposed establishing a legal framework to mobilize capital for emerging economic models like the digital economy, green economy, and the circular economy.
Vietnam is considered one of the fastest growing markets for artificial intelligence, or AI, in Southeast Asia. The country's banking sector is undergoing a transformative period with the rapid adoption of AI. The application of AI is revolutionizing how banks operate and serve their customers, significantly impacting banks' growth and competitiveness while enhancing the customer experience.
Instead of requiring employees to review each document manually, the bank automates the entire credit scoring analysis process using AI. Additionally, the bank integrates AI solutions into various services and processes, supporting its decision-making, optimizing customer service, and enhancing productivity.
We have automated up to 50% of credit approvals for retail customers and 30% for corporate customers. There are processes, such as the LC issuance process, where we do not need people at all.
The Financial Service State of the Nation Survey 2023 by Finastra shows that 4% of Vietnamese financial institutions have deployed AI in their activities. Some banks are now embracing the latest AI trend, generative artificial intelligence, Gen AI, which boosts productivity by 50 to 60% and enhances customer personalization.
We understand customers' habits, preferences, behaviors, and needs. Through this, we strive to provide customized services optimized for individual customer needs.
Gen AI can automatically generate code, testing, and developing software. With Gen AI, creating new software can be about 30 to 40% faster than traditional methods.
To invest in breakthrough AI applications, several banks have focused on databases, infrastructure, and AI talent.
We will soon deploy infrastructure such as H100 and cloud platforms like Azure, AWS, and GCP to support our AI initiative.
We have strategies to attract talent from overseas, such as Singapore, London, and Australia, as well as from around the world.
According to a survey by Roland Berger, a global management consultancy, AI capabilities could unlock $1 trillion in global banking revenue pools by 2030. Experts say investing in the right resources and a solid AI roadmap will boost banks' breakthroughs, competitiveness, and the digital economy in Vietnam.
People, resources, and tools are the three key pillars Vietnam must develop to keep pace with generative AI and create homegrown solutions. This view was shared at the Vietnam Artificial Intelligence Forum 2024 in Hanoi, where experts also discussed various strategies for the sustainable advancement of AI in Vietnam.
This artificial intelligence, AI, device offers key features, including people counting, early fire and explosion warnings, and vehicle tracking. Users can quickly and easily customize AI systems to their specific needs with this device.
It simplifies the model design process. Users need only a few clicks to create comprehensive AI solutions. Developers who want to avoid building a system from scratch can utilize this platform. Additionally, transitioning to another application is swift, reducing the time needed to launch new solutions.
AI increasingly benefits various fields, but its rapid advancement also poses challenges in managing information security risks and combating online fraud. To ensure AI's sustainable development, binding regulations, ethical principles, guidelines, and recommendations are essential.
People remain the top priority. All development efforts should aim to enhance our citizens' happiness and prosperity. After addressing this, we can focus on advancing technology and data to ensure AI's fairness and authenticity.
If feasible, government agencies should implement support policies to systematically invest in AI and encourage socialization. This approach will promote sustainable technology development and facilitate collaboration among institutes, schools, and businesses for long-term growth.
Vietnam currently ranks 5th in ASEAN on the Global AI Readiness Index. To enhance this ranking, the government plans to review and improve the legal framework, invest in training high-quality talent, and expand the market for Vietnamese AI products.
China continues to be Vietnam's largest agricultural export market, according to a recent report by the Chinese Ministry of Commerce. Popular Vietnamese exports, such as durian and dragon fruit, make up about 20% of the total agricultural products that China imports from ASEAN countries. Additionally, Vietnam is a significant destination for Chinese foreign investment, especially in energy and green economic projects. The Chinese Ministry of Commerce plans to enhance economic and trade cooperation with Vietnam through increased business support and a focus on digital and green development. Hanoi is set to expand its social housing capacity with 6 new projects, adding over 8,000 units across more than 655,000 square meters. The City People's Committee has approved an updated list of these projects, which will be located in the Hoàn Kiếm, Long Biên, Ba Đình, Thanh Trì, and Thạch Thất districts. 3 of the 6 projects have completed site clearance, 2 are in progress, and 1 remains in the site clearance phase with pending land allocation and investment policy adjustments. Currently, Hanoi has 10 social housing projects underway, with completion expected next year. Coming up next on VTV News. Emergency response to coastal erosion and landslides. And later on, local authorities strive to ensure rights of ethnic groups. Welcome back to VTV News Live. Now on to other important updates. By the end of July, coastal erosion and landslides in Hoàng Hoa District, Thanh Hóa Province had rapidly intensified due to the effects of high tides, rain, and flooding. In response, Thanh Hóa Province is taking proactive measures to address the situation, including relocating and evacuating people from hazardous landslide zones.
In the area where fishermen board and disembark in Hoang Trung Com in Hoàng Hoa District, the concrete and steel infrastructure has been severely damaged. The embankment's roof has collapsed, exposing rusty, protruding iron bars. The erosion not only jeopardizes the boats but also poses a serious threat to the safety of local residents.
The ongoing erosion is causing significant concern for me and others in the community. We hope the state and government give urgent attention to the situation and support affected workers.
Hanoi Hoa District reports that rapid and dangerous sea erosion has affected about 25 hectares across Hoang Thanh, Hoang Phu, and Hoang Trung communes, impacting over 200 households, 130 people. Authorities have temporarily addressed the issue with ropes, bamboo stakes, and netting.
The Commune's People's Committee quickly deployed temporary reinforcement using bamboo stakes and soil filling. We are also requesting that the district and provincial authorities construct embankments.
Thanh Hóa Province has declared an emergency due to landslides and coastal erosion in Hoàng Hoa District. The district has been tasked with monitoring the situation, reinforcing affected areas, and preparing for evacuation if necessary.
Nearly 60 train driver trainees from Urban Railway Company Limited No. 1 in Ho Chi Minh City practiced real train driving techniques on Metro Line No. 1 from Bến Thành to Suối Tiên. This marks a significant milestone in the project's training and technology transfer process.
At Long Binh Station in Thu Duc City, Ho Chi Minh City, train driver trainees have begun applying their theoretical training and simulator practice from Vietnam and Japan to real-world tasks, including pre-operation checks, train control, depot shunting, and emergency response.
We have already been taught the material by our instructors and understand it clearly. Today, we get to practice, and it feels great. Learning in a simulation is not as realistic as being on an actual train.
The line's operation includes 58 train drivers, 24 dispatchers, and about 300 station staff. For practical training, contractor Hitachi has begun handing over the CP3 package's 11 electromechanical systems, covering trains, tracks, tickets, information, signals, equipment, workshops, monitoring, control, and data collection.
Based on the trial results and report, the investor will submit the dossier to the Railway Department for safety assessment and to the State Acceptance Council to finalize acceptance, issue the safety certificate, and launch the project.
The Ho Chi Minh City Urban Railway Line 1 project is now 98.38% complete. The management board and contractors aim to finish it by the end of 2024 to meet travel needs and address urban traffic issues.
Vietnam is set to be the leading destination for South Korean tourists this summer, with bookings from June to August increasing threefold compared to the same period last year. According to Kyowon Tour Travel Easy Group's analysis of tourism trends for the third quarter shows that Vietnam has overtaken Japan for the first time as South Koreans' top travel destination. This surge in popularity is attributed to Vietnam's proximity and affordable travel costs. The Constitution mandates that the state create favorable conditions for ethnic groups to develop and promote their internal strengths. Gabong Province, where 95% of the population belongs to ethnic groups, has made concerted efforts to ensure the rights of its ethnic residents. These efforts have yielded many positive initial results.
Khan, a Thai ethnic woman, invested in accommodation services in 2018. Local authorities have supported her in preserving traditional cultural features and gaining additional income from tourism activities.
We offer tourists the chance to take photos wearing ethnic clothes and see what it's like to work in the fields so they can experience our daily lives. Foreign tourists enjoy it.
To preserve the traditional culture of ethnic groups, local authorities invested in restoring and maintaining a Thai ethnic cultural village. In 2016, they established a model for developing tourism and the community. The village's homestay complex features 17 traditional houses with high pillars and yin-yang tile roofs. As a result, locals have become adept at managing tourism activities.
Many locals also know a little bit of English, which is enough to communicate with foreign guests. Those who are slow learners can use smartphones to translate.
We must put planning first, and when the planning is implemented, we will definitely preserve and conserve traditional cultural features. Local authorities have opened training courses to raise community awareness about preserving and promoting tangible and intangible cultural values in tourism.
Hoi An Commune is just one of the places where Gabong Province has chosen to implement projects to support local communities in building models that combine economic development with traditional cultural preservation.
The results of these pilot programs are promising. We will widely apply these projects to preserve and promote the values of cultural heritage and tourism development.
Through specific initiatives, Gabong and many other localities across Vietnam are actively implementing the party and state's consistent policy of protecting ethnic rights. These efforts also contribute to refining the country's overall human rights policy framework.
On Friday night, Nguyen Huệ Pedestrian Street in District 1, Ho Chi Minh City was decorated for Hanoi Days in Ho Chi Minh City event. The program was organized to promote the significance of the 70th anniversary of Capital Liberation Day and achievements in building and developing the capital. The event also deepened the close and lasting affection between the two localities, creating a combined strength and contributing to the development of the country.
Songs like The City Named After Him Hanoi people marching to Hanoi and remembering Hanoi filled the air. This year's Hanoi Days in Ho Chi Minh City event centered around the theme Hanoi's outstanding signs. The event reminds me of Hanoi. I lived in the capital city for 10 years.
It connects the two ends of the bridge. I'm from a southern province, but my wife is from a northern province. I think the event is very meaningful. It will help my children understand the culture of the capital.
Many locals are thrilled to see Nguyễn Huệ pedestrian street transform into a miniature Hanoi, complete with its iconic symbols. Exhibitions showcasing the capital's cultural and historical beauty, as well as its cuisine, help people gain a deeper understanding of Hanoi's rich heritage.
I only live in Ho Chi Minh City and have not had the opportunity to visit the capital city. So this is an opportunity for me to learn more about the ancient capital and its many modern buildings.
Programs like this connect people from the south and the north, enhancing the connection between people from the two regions.
The activities aim to showcase 70 years of achievements in the construction and development of the 1,000-year-old capital city. They highlight Hanoi's unique cultural features and heritage. These events also foster cooperation between Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City.
Coming up next in our world news. Indian Prime Minister offers help to bring peace to Ukraine. And later on, fire observed on board Greek-flagged tanker in the Red Sea. Now moving on to our world news, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi offered as a friend to help bring peace to Ukraine during a meeting with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on Friday. This marked the first visit by an Indian Prime Minister to modern Ukraine, occurring at a critical point in the conflict. During their talks, the Indian Prime Minister urged Ukrainian President Zelensky to sit down at the negotiating table with Russian President Putin, as no conflict can be resolved on the battlefield. Prime Minister Modi also stressed that New Delhi is ready to actively contribute to peace efforts. On his part, Ukrainian President Zelensky said he plans to discuss the peace summit in Ukraine with Prime Minister Modi. He also called for increased trade and military cooperation between the two countries. At the end of the talks, India and Ukraine signed 4 agreements on humanitarian assistance, agriculture, medicine, and culture. Houthi forces in Yemen on Friday posted videos showing their forces deliberately blowing up the Greek-owned oil tanker Sunian, whose crew had been forced to abandon ship after a series of attacks by the Houthis on Wednesday. The tanker, carrying 150,000 tons of oil, was damaged in the biggest attack on Red Sea shipping in weeks. It was reported hit by at least 4 projectiles as men in several small boats opened fire on the vessel about 90 miles off the coast of the Yemeni port city of Hodeidah. The Houthis' decision to blow up the ship could cause severe pollution in this crucial shipping lane. Since they began attacking commercial vessels in the Red Sea, this is the first time the Houthis have deliberately blown up a ship left adrift after being attacked. In total, over 180 ships in shipping lanes off Yemen were attacked since November last year. One of the most anticipated events this week is the U.S. Federal Reserve's annual Economic Symposium in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. That is where the Fed chairman often gives hints about this next monetary policy. Noting that inflation is easing while the job market is weakening, Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell provided the strongest signal yet on Friday that the central bank plans to begin cutting historically high interest rates in September. Although he gave no clues on how much the Fed would lower its key rate, most forecasts expect a quarter-point reduction. All 3 major indexes on the U.S. stock market increased strongly by more than 1% in value in the last trading session of the week. The Fed chairman also noted that the U.S. economy is growing steadily. When visiting the U.S. capital, Washington, D.C., people often explore well-known landmarks such as Capitol Hill, the White House, museums, and the National Mall. However, there's a hidden gem about 30-minute drive from the Capitol that many would love to visit, especially during hot summer days. That is the Kenilworth Lotus Pond, which exudes a fragrant scent throughout the summer and lasts until late autumn.
Kenilworth Park and Aquatic Gardens boast thousands of square meters of water surface area dedicated to lotus ponds, with a diverse array of types and colors. At the entrance, a sign educates visitors unfamiliar with lotus about the flower and its life cycle.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I previously had been here when I was a little girl, so this is one of my first times coming back as an adult. But I really like it a lot. It's very peaceful. The flowers are beautiful. I love seeing the flowers in bloom.
Paths connecting lotus ponds are maintained with natural grass and banks so that visitors can experience the earthy scent of the mud. Under the trees, fish, turtles, including soft shell varieties, and other creatures thrive. The only human intervention is an oxygen generator in the shallow pond area. After a busy day of work or sightseeing, everyone seems to find relief while standing before the lotus pond, breathing in the fresh air, or taking pictures of the flowers.
Oh, well, it's very beautiful. It brings peace, and it's very interesting also to explore the sounds that you can hear from all the insects and the frogs.
Photographers as well, my husband and I.
Yeah.
Dragonflies, lotus pods. I love the way the lotus pods are. You can see how they've evolved from a tiny bud to the flower to how it starts to decay, and then the pod and the seeds inside. It's just very beautiful to see.
On weekends, the park hosts lotus festivals, showcasing the flower's unique characteristics and exploring its deep connections to Asian culture.
And before we say goodbye, let's have a look at the weather forecast for Vietnam and other locations in the world. And that is all that we have for this hour on VTV News. To rewatch our program, you can visit our website or YouTube channel or download a mobile app VTVgo for more. Thank you for watching, and goodbye for now.